greetings, and salutations, one and all. Yeah, I'm a little bit chilly. How you doing? Welcome to the end of the night shift week, Real Talk Wednesday. I want to say big ups to everybody locked in right now. Those on TuneIn Radio, the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. The affiliate stations, PEMGTV.com, NIE Radio. Big ups to you guys over there in Jersey. I hope you're keeping warm. Cause I know it kind of rough. If I am wearing clothes that I have to keep warm in South Florida, I can just imagine what y'all are going through up north. I don't envy you. Winding back with a boom boom girl, rolling nothing pon me. You're shaking it up and rolling it down down girl. But I love how you wine baby, like a nuclear weapon girl. You're causing mass destruction. So I'm taking my time 'cause you're about dangerous when I'm telling you. Right now I'm targeting like a heat-seeking missile. I just want to hit the buzz and they right in the middle. Wine, can you fine whenever kind you are dime. And when it's time to wine and down the line, well look at wonders and sign. I'm telling you, wine back that bumper on me. How are you grind it back, my guy? I want that bumper, baby. How are you line it up, my guy? The way you wine, girl. The way you wine, you know you really blow my mind, girl. Wine back that bumper on me. How are you roll back that thing for me? Wine back, my girl. Wine back, my girl. Wine back. How are you push back that bumper, roll back that thing for me? Wine back, my girl. Wine back. Let me say, wine back. How are you push back that bumper, roll back that thing for me? You grinding that thing back on me so long, girl. Rolling that thing for me. If you want to make you ever come down, girl. But I love how you wine, baby. You could up on a sugar factory with all of that sweetness you have down there. Don't study what nobody say, baby. Say right there and wine on me. The way how you roll your waist is a real force of nature. So every time you wine on me, I just thank the creator. So wine, whenever kind you are dime. And when it's time to wine and down the line, then you wind up on the designer, telling you wine back that bumper on me. How are you grind it back, my girl? I want that bumper, baby. How are you line it up, my girl? The way you wine, girl. The way you wine, you know you really blow my mind, girl. Wine back that bumper on me. How are you roll back that thing on me? Wine back, my girl. Wine back, my girl. Wine back. How are you push back that bumper, roll back that thing on me? Wine back, my girl. Wine back. Let me say, wine back. How are you push back that bumper, roll back that thing on me? I don't really care when you're pushing back right on me. Everything's okay, just roll back on me. I'm telling you. The sound of K Rich
Once you roll back that bam on me, everything's okay, just
saying, listen, my girl,
how are you wine back on that bumper? Tell the DJ
just whine back that thing on me now.
wine on me, lover. How are you roll back just like a dumper truck? Baby, please don't stop. Take it
Yeah man, don't stop, don't take it easy.
to roll behind. I want you
Just do your thing, my girl. Please.
back on me.
You don't need to say please.
I want you to ride back on me.
I want to say thank you to Pulse Media for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast. When being in the moment is priceless, Pulse Media Group provides innovative streaming and recording solutions. Streaming your event live on a secure platform. So whether it be a graduation, a funeral, a wedding, a seminar, you name it, you want to stream it, they have streaming solutions for you on your platform that you manage, advertise as you see fit. And if you want to take it a step further and have your own internet TV station, they got to hook up with that too. Give them a call, 754-999-6020. Or check them out online, pulseemg.com. Tell them DJ Kevin Stew sent you.
So when a request like that is made, how does it really work?
I want you to ride
Who's the one pulling the strings at this point?
back on me.
Is it the requester?
Nothing but me. Wine back, me gala. Wine back, me gala. Wine
Or the one receiving the request?
back, nothing but me. Wine back,
Who's the one pulling the strings?
wine back. I'm saying wine back. Push back the bumper, roll back, nothing but me.
And when you paint that scenario in your head, how does the thought go? Are you thinking, you know what? I got this. I have it all sorted out. I have it all planned out. I know exactly how it's going to go down. The way I request, the way I place my request is going to be done in such a way that she just can't resist. Or the way I grant that request, he just won't be able to resist. Or vice versa. She could be the one telling him, hey, listen, my youth, just wind back. It's possible. You know, you can never be too sure how these relationships go. I want to say big ups to those on Facebook Live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Remember, it's only temporary, so don't get too comfortable. Use up the link. It's in the description, kevinstew.com. Tonight we're going to be addressing something that is more often done, but less often thought about. It is seduction. And we're going to see if we can get into the mind of seduction. It's kind of, you'd kind of think of getting into the mind of a seducer or a seducee. So, because I want to look at both minds if we can, I just say we're getting into the mind of seduction. Because at some point in time, at least one of us, if not all of us, have done it. We have seduced someone, or we have been seduced by someone. Let's start with a thought. A thought of a partner. How often do you dream of meeting your perfect partner? Do you dream of it at all? Many people imagine it to be a moment of pure bliss, in which you swoop them off their feet as they can't help but fall in love while looking into your eyes. Exciting, isn't it? Realistic? According to Matt in Canada, medium.com, according to them, most of us wouldn't have a clue how to begin having a conversation with someone we find incredibly attractive. And I thought about that for a moment, and I was like, someone I find incredibly attractive. Do I become a babbling idiot, or do I just become a post, just standing there, mute? I want to say big ups to those who are locked in on kevinstew.com. Glad you could join us, inviting you all to jump into the stew pot on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment. The stew pot is what others call a chat room. We call it the stew pot because on kevinstew.com we're kind of fancy. So it's where we keep things interactive and bubbling. It's a judgment-free zone, so come on and share your views. We'd love to hear from you. Those of you that want to call in because you have something to say, you can do so. You can call, you can text 773-789-STEW, 773-789-7839. You can also WhatsApp to that number. What is pulling on my headphone? It keep doing, one side just keep pulling down. Anyway, yes, those of you wondering, I am a bit chilly here in the studio, so yes, hence the headwear and the undergarments. Yeah, it real. South Florida kind of chilly. All right, so want to say big ups to Marlon. Hey, 644. The real talk on the night shift of the DJ Kevin show just happens to be Marlon's favorite night shift show. So it is dubbed Marlon's favorite night shift show. Real talk. All right, so let's get back to the matter at hand. This whole seduction thing. So we all dream about meeting our ideal partner, settling down in a beautiful neighborhood, and living a perfect life alongside them, as if we're in a fairy tale. But before any of that can happen, before you can get to that point of settling down and buying the house with the white picket fence, having 2.5 kids, a dog, and a helper, you need to seduce them in a way that creates desire, passion, and a beautiful feeling of irresistibility toward each other. The writer goes on to say, throughout my life, I've found myself in the same position many times. But despite initially thinking that people would disregard me for my average body, I've learned that emotion plays an incredibly important role during the process of seduction. So, before I go on, let me put this out there to everyone. How do you seduce someone? Have you ever been seduced? What was that like for you? What is your go-to in seduction? Because I am thinking, if you are aware that you seduce people, then chances are you have a go-to in how you do your seduction. So what is that go-to? How do you seduce? I don't know. It would probably be different things for different people. But it will be something. And if you've been seduced, especially recently, what was that like for you? Did you mind giving in to that seduction? So, what has been put together here are several ways to become more seductive with the use of emotion. And each one of these insights give the writer the confidence to approach attractive people, to create incredible relationships, and understand psychology in a way that has transformed his dating life. So, you would think, our good friend Matt here, his name is Matt Lillywhite. You would think that he probably would not have thought of the man being the seducer. Because typically you think seduction, you think a woman spinning her web of control and manipulation. Right? Now, not to say that that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, women, I believe, have become quite skilled in the art of getting what they want from men and also from other women with the art of seduction. But this is a man writing this now, Matt Lillywhite. And Matt says, start by identifying your most attractive qualities. And I thought, hey Joy, how you doing? So Joy, all right. Joy, you jumped on last week and you talked about how you got your husband to not be angry anymore. Would you put that on in the category or fit it under the umbrella of seduction? Because that's what we're talking about tonight. Would you consider that to be seduction, or is it just that it is what he likes and it is what makes him happy? So you do it in order to change his mood. Yeah, I'm putting you out there, you know, only because. So Matt says identify your most attractive qualities when looking to start with this seduction thing. When you know what your strengths and weaknesses are, it becomes a lot easier to use them to your advantage. As Steve Maraboli once said, accept yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your truths, and know what tools you have to fulfill your purpose. So don't dwell on the physical and emotional qualities you wish you had. Instead, focus on what you already have and find ways to use those characteristics when seducing your ideal partner. Now, hopefully, those particular things are things that your ideal partner would be interested in. Joy says seduction is a game played by people that are masters at manipulation. Well, and this is what I'm no. This is what I'm thinking. Which of us are not masters of manipulation? Because to some degree, we manipulate someone in our lives. So you absolutely 100%, absolutely, positively attract or seduce the anger out of him. I love it. But it says, for the longest time, I believed that having good looks was a requirement to be considered attractive. Why? Because with all the pictures on social media of models floating around on the internet, I couldn't help but feel inadequate in the eyes of other people. But when I discovered that attraction is merely attracting people into your life because of the qualities you possess, my entire mindset changed. After all, I had a newly found ability to focus on my strengths instead of wishing for my personal attributes that would never come to fruition. So, Matt said, I began gaining the necessary confidence to approach girls, using humor as a way to connect with them on a meaningful level. That statement in and of itself just seems like an oxymoron. I'm going to use humor to connect on a meaningful level. So, will they take you seriously that it is meaningful, that you're being meaningful? Or will they just take you for a joke? I don't know. Ladies, how you feel about someone approaching you, trying to seduce you using humor? He goes on, over time, this approach helped to eliminate negative thoughts and self-doubt, which used to make me feel like I wasn't good enough. Then he says, if you want to begin seducing your perfect partner, you first need to let go of any desire for your personality to be different. Because when you focus on who you are, instead of wishing to be someone you are not, it becomes a lot easier to be more confident when approaching someone for the first time. Silent River, blessings, bro. How you doing? How do you seduce people, Silent River? Well, what is your go-to? Do you do like Matt and say, hey, I'm starting off with humor, and I'm a connect with you on a meaningful level using humor? Joy says, you're angry, and your better portion walks out with boobies in full view. What do you think is gonna happen? She wins. Okay? And the mere fact that you end with she wins, Joy, means that yes, you are a master manipulator. Emphasis on the man. Man, ipulate. I don't know is there such a word as ipulate? You Scrabble players. But women, the women in my life, as I've observed them, they're master manipulators. My mother got me to eat my vegetables, eventually, because I really didn't like vegetables. So she eventually got me to eat vegetables by giving me hamburgers. And my mother got me to stop crying when I was hurting because she held me and she kissed my boo boo. So, incidentally, my better portion does that too, but it's a completely different boo boo because I am the boo at this time. But it still works. Not that I'm crying, but I might be whining. But you know, you get the picture. You get it. So yeah, I still I stick with what I say about y'all being master manipulators. Halle, come on now. Don't say you don't know. What is your go-to tool for not manipulation, for seduction? Come on now. Which woman doesn't have a go-to tool? Now we're learning how men can be seducers at this point, listening to Matt. So yes, exactly, Joy. We do learn how to manipulate from birth. Because as a baby, you're going to cry and get what you want. You want comfort, you want food. You know, it's the only way babies know how to communicate, right? Until they start developing their motor skills and speech and the likes. But we live in a society where manipulation is just second nature to us. We learn how to breathe, we learn how to manipulate. So if we learn how to manipulate, then I'm guessing we learned really early how to seduce. We just kind of fine-tuned it as we got older. Right, Joy? So, Matt says, if you want to begin to seduce your perfect partner, let go of any desire for your personality to be different. He also says, focus on how you make them feel. Now, how do you make that person feel? So now lines of communication would have to be open, right? Mike goes on to say one of the reasons many people struggle with seduction is because they're continually overthinking every aspect of it. For example, they'll plan out their body language, what they'll say during a conversation, and how they might answer hypothetical questions from someone they find attractive. We're all guilty of it. But instead of concentrating solely on what you say, Matt says, I've discovered that a better strategy is focusing on how you make them feel. And he goes with the words of Maya Angelou. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. Makes you think Michael Jackson, right? The way you make me feel. Yeah. So that is why I didn't do that album. As teenagers, females learn that our attitudes get us what we want. That's when the manipulation becomes seduction. All right. So it's funny you should say that, Joy, because I listened to a podcast and I shared it on my social media last week. or earlier this week. One of the two. It was shared on someone else's social media, and I shared it from there, about the tears of the black woman and the tears of the white woman. It focused, I think it was captioned, the tears of the white woman and the power in it, or something to that effect. But it talks about a black woman crying, and it being like, tough it up because you're tough. You're a black woman, you're a strong black woman, and a white woman crying and everybody coming to the rescue. Manipulation. 644 says, I smile, show some cleavage, and use my gorgeous derriere. Well, that is quite astounding. 644. Hey, Christina, how you doing? How's Chi-Town treating you? Is it warm enough for you over there? Please hail up Kevin for me. And the family and the kids. So let's go back to what Matt is saying. People will forget. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Quoting Maya Angelou. We all know that it's easier to forget a random conversation at a bar, in the club, or anywhere else that you may choose to meet people. But when someone makes you feel special and excited about what the future may hold, you often can't help but feel a connection, as they want to spend the rest of their life making you happy. So whenever you begin creating meaningful relationships with people, consider using emotion to make them feel special, and your dating life will never be the same. So I hope you are taking notes. 773-789-STEW gets you in touch. 773-789-7839. Call, text, WhatsApp. You connect with me, but jump on over to kevinstew.com, because we're going to be bouncing off of Facebook Live in just a few moments. And the entire broadcast will continue on kevinstew.com. And you can interact with me in the stew pot. Alright? Halle, I'm still waiting for your response. You know my number. You can text it to me. In fact, you can call and share what. Christina, what is your go-to with seduction? Because you must have used something. You managed to have your husband for however long now. Long time. You have kids. So you hooked him some way, somehow. What was your bait on your line? Because a lot of us men would like to think that we cast our nets and we caught a good one when we get our wives, partners, spouses, whatever. Sometimes it's really that you got caught up in the trap that was already set, and you're made to look like you were the hunter when you were actually the hunted. So, again, here we go, manipulation. So, only a fool would want to let that go. I got you, Joy. I got you. When you feel good, you get what you want. And you get what you... Sorry, when you feel good, you want that to continue. Yeah. And only a fool would want to let that go. It's true. It's appealing to the pleasure sensors in the brain. So when that is satisfied, then Christina, of course, that's all you're going to do. You're going to just laugh. Come on over, kevinstew.com. Facebook Live, this is where we bounce out. We're going to take a quick little break. We're going to come back and look at another aspect of this whole seduction thing. Providing whatever is missing in the person's life. Now, that seems more serious than anything else. So I don't know how exactly we're going to meet that need. But We're gonna see. We're gonna take a quick break. Call a friend, tell a friend. It's the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Real Talk Wednesday. We're looking at the mind of seduction. So tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell the enemies of your friends and friends of your enemies. Come on over, kevinstew.com right now. We'll be right back.
Pulse Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulse Media Group.
It takes an entire village to raise a child. Hello, I'm Paul Campbell, here to talk about Palace. Peace and Love Academic Scholarship. This non-profit group supports students facing serious obstacles from entering or continuing their studies, not because the grades are failing, but due to the lack of financial support.
Over the past 8 years, Palace has awarded 600 scholarships valued at approximately 50.3 million Jamaican dollars, or 415,000 US dollars.
Together, we must build a better future for our children. Please visit www.palace1.org and make your donation to brighten the future of a deserving child. Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others, and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #alone together. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com, your links to worship and praise.
Hey, I'm representing for DJ Kevin Stew, working on the night shift radio show. Won't go changing like the weather, just to please the devil never. Will DJ Kevin Stew sell his soul? That's a word and honor. It's Chris Cinti representing word and honor. Still I say DJ Kevin Stew.
Tell that you love me by the way you're looking.
to show you, but I give you pleasure. Searching for your treasure. I could be you, I could be you, everything you want. I could be you. I could be you. I could be you. Tonight I will forgive you of everything you've done, yeah, in your past. Tonight I'll be your preacher, baby. You give me your undivided, and I'll relieve all your stress, baby, with my forgiveness, my forgiveness. I just wanna give you everything that you've been searching for, baby. All you gotta do, baby girl, come over. Wanna be your lover. Got some things to show you. Got some things to show you. But I give you pleasure. Searching for your treasure. I could be you. I could be you. Everything you want. I could be you. I could be you. I could be you. I know how to treat you right. Just tell me yes, tell me yeah. I'll be all you want.
Yeah, man, I'll be all you want.
I know I spend the night.
Spend just one night.
Be the best. Be
That's confidence.
all you gotta do. Baby, just come over.
Now, if I can sing like Enzo,
I can give you pleasure.
what?
Give you pleasure. I will
I could sing you the alphabet, you just melt away.
preach.
What?
I'll forgive your sin.
The sound of Enzo.
I'll forgive your
Track is called Come Over.
baby girl, come over. Wanna
I want to welcome you back to the broadcast.
got some things to show you.
Anybody new to
To show you
the home of the night shift, DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com, welcome, welcome, welcome.
for your treasure. I could be you.
Want to say thanks to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast.
Could be you.
Althea is a licensed massage therapist that comes to you operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties.
Yes.
She comes with her table, her oils, 20 years of experience, her Healing Heavenly Hands, and she comes COVID free.
Got some things,
Of course, she'd like to leave that way.
got some things to show you. But I'll give you
Give her a call, 954-655-9000,
I could be
or email her at thealater@att.net.
everything you want.
Outside of paying her, she only has one request. Get off her table and go sleep somewhere else. And anybody that has had a massage from Althea, and you know what I'm talking about, puts you straight to bed. His name is Enzo. The track is called Come Over. Alright, so back to the matter at hand. The mind of seduction. And before we went off, I asked Christina over there on Facebook Live, what is it that she does, and what was her go-to? What did she use in her art of seduction? And she said she used her feistiness and her boom boom. Now you have to understand what Christina looks like, and you have to understand her personality. And I can understand. I can see fully. I'm right there. I get it, Christina. I know how you did it, Kevin. There's no getting away. Sorry, Bridget. Happening in the stew pot. A little dialogue going on here. One comment was, "I'm more into mental seduction." See, the manipulators. Thank you, 644. I'm more into mental seduction. Physical seduction can be temporary, but when you seduce and stimulate the mind, that has a more lasting impression. I got you, 644. We know who is not going to survive anything with you once you decide that is where you're going, that person getting caught. And Joy agrees with you. It usually happens after you reach a certain age. I would rather have an intelligent conversation with someone than sit and look at a pretty idiot that has no sense. Joy, I'm going to want for you to give the pretty dunces a bly. You know, pretty dunces need love too. Physical attributes can be... I do invite you guys to jump into the stew pot, because you're missing out on some stuff here. Physical attributes can only get one so far, at least for only so long. What happens when the physical appearance no longer exists in the same format? You know, that's a good question. So when the sexiness becomes sagginess, what is left? Where is your relationship at that point? I think it is more sexy to seduce my mind for the long run rather my body alone for the short interim. It's a mature adult that learns how to seduce others using intellect. Then I should be well on my way, because I use other people's intellect very well. Very many of us attractive individuals seem to think that we can get by on just our looks, body shapes, hair color, length of clothes, etc., or the lack of length of our clothes, right? Those are temporary and will eventually vanish. After that, then what? And that's just it. What happens after that? Are we talking temporary relation or of the moment or a lasting connection? Listen. You married one, so you know. You married one what? The intellect? Or the one that was caught with using the body? Which one did you marry, Joy? So what we're going to next is providing whatever is missing in an individual's life. And that one could be an interesting feat. 773-789-STEW gets you in touch. 773-789-7839. I'd love to hear from you guys. You know, share with us what tools you have used. You know, what your experiences have been. Feel free to call. You know, it's a judgment-free zone. So I don't bash anyone. I think all opinions are worth listening to. I may not take all of them with me, but at least hear them out. When you're able to fill a void in someone's life, you can make them feel like everything is perfect. And that's your solution to whatever adversity they're facing. For example, if someone is feeling lonely in a time of need, staying by their side will help them to feel like they always have someone to trust. When you're willing to do anything necessary to improve someone's life, it creates a connection between you both as you are committed to giving them a happy life. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Don't overthink, don't hypothesize, just do whatever it takes to become the best partner that you can be, and that is all that matters. Okay. So, when you're willing to do anything necessary to improve someone's life, so you need to make sure that whatever you guys Joy. Yes, 776. Naked beauty fades quickly without intelligence. When you're willing to do anything necessary to improve someone's life. So, you want to seduce that person into being attracted to you. You want to manipulate their emotions, their thoughts, and to have them hooked on you. So when you get them hooked and you're satisfied, what happens then? Because you being that thing to that person, will you always be that thing? Because shouldn't that thing change over time? If that person needed someone to be there with them because they were feeling lonely, you're not feeling lonely every day of your life. So now you provided for that lonely person. Marlon, who did Mr. Lonely? The reggae version. Was that Sanchez? So you end up providing that companionship for that person that is feeling lonely. And that feeling of loneliness goes away. Then you really serve which purpose at that point? What's your purpose? The person is no longer lonely, and all of a sudden you're no longer needed. Or not that you were needed, you were wanted for that moment. So now you're no longer wanted. Oh, welcome back, River. Silent River, what is your go-to for seduction? Or how have you been seduced? Don't lose yourself in the process of doing anything necessary to change that other person's life. Wow. Now we're getting deep, 644. We're getting deep now. So why shouldn't you do anything that is necessary to change that other person's life? The person is feeling lonely, and you want to. You're feeling empathetic, and you're reaching out and providing that which that person needs at that point in time. What makes that such a bad thing? Because you've provided for what that person needs. I'm almost 50 years old and I'm far from beautiful, but I'm smart and know how to take care of my family. My husband is a stay-at-home dad. Okay, cool. So here we go. Let me address a few things in this first. For me, beauty is not what you see on the outside. That's pretty. That's not beauty. For me, beauty comes from the inside. So your personality, your heart, that is the beauty of you, the individual. For me, that is what works. So if you're doing the things that are beautiful to me, that makes you beautiful to me. So the almost 50 and far from beautiful thing, I don't buy that joy. I don't buy it one bit. You're almost 50 and just as beautiful or even more beautiful than when you first got married. You're saying your husband is nice to look at. Okay, so that apparently that meets your need. You know, that works for you. You're smart and know how to take care of your family. You pretty much are what most men want to have. An intelligent woman that can take care of the family and flash boobies whenever they're angry. You know, what more could a guy want? The minute you feel the need to prove yourself, you have forgotten your own value. And so and again, it comes back to what I asked earlier. At what point do we really recognize who is a seducer and who is a seducee? Because if I am trying to seduce you, but you already have it in your mind what you're going to do, you're allowing me to seduce you and play along with your game. So you are the one actually pulling the strings and making me feel like I'm the one pulling the strings because you're allowing me to do what you already wanted. How far off am I? My husband is 7 years my junior. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Tell me, it's an age difference when you get to about 20. So that is fine. That's neither here nor there. My better portion is 10 years my senior. So, but in that whole seducing thing, you with not with wondering which one is a seducer and which one is a seducee, you end up with what is considered the paradox of seduction. And Dr. Leon Seltzer did an article in Psychology Today about just that, the paradox of seduction. And Irving Berlin had made the statement, a man chases a girl until she catches him. And I'm going to let that sink in for a moment. Stroking an ego, it's not seducing. I got you. A man chases a girl until she catches him. I started off this broadcast asking, which one is doing the seducing and which one is the seducer. I mean, the seducer and the seducee. And who knows at what point? I remember the first time I heard that a woman knows within the first 10 seconds of meeting a guy what she wants to do with him. Not necessarily if she wants to be with him, but what she wants to do with him. And I thought, boy, I've met quite a number of women. And out of that number of women, some of them I've been interested in and just struck out. Strike one, strike two, strike three, you're out. Out of the game, out of the park, out of nothing. So, was it something I did wrong within those first 10 seconds? Maybe I should have tried to make a meaningful connection using humor. Maybe. So, I guess the scenario would go something like this. Hey, how are you? Why did the chicken cross the road? And I guess that would make her more interested in me. That is where the seduction starts. I am thinking I would feel even worse. I don't know. Guys, Silent River, Marlon, help me out here. Where do we go? If the woman decides very early on what she wants to do with you, then if we are going to say we're trying to seduce that woman, who is pulling the strings? What happens if the person doing the manipulation to get the man or woman, then when they get them, they don't know what to do to keep them? What then? We end up in another dilemma. And that was what I was asking earlier. So you are being what that individual is needing at that time. You provide what is missing for that individual. Okay, their needs are met. What next? What now? What is the next move? You create a new need for that individual, or you seek out a new need for that individual, and then fit yourself into the mold to make sure that you're meeting that need. 773-789 Stu 773-789-7839. So the good doctor, Dr. Seltzer, no, his first name is not Alka, says seduction and the so-called art of seduction is laden with ambiguities and apparent contradictions. So much so that it can almost be viewed as a paradoxical phenomenon, similar to rape, to which it's frequently compared, and it's undeniably manipulative. Yet, while its various stratagems may help to overlap with those of rape, may at times overlap with those of rape, it's essentially about process and persuasion versus threats, physical force, and violence. So, Dr. Seltzer is saying, the art of seduction is quite similar to that of rape. Okay, because I can clearly see the connection there. One is subtle and the other is aggressive. So I definitely see that connection. And, right, sarcasm abounds. It's always a work in progress because people evolve over time, yes. And so with their needs evolving, are you going to continue evolving to meet their needs? So at what point do you be you? At what point does that person meet who you truly are? I use humor all the time. You know this. I know this firsthand. Yes, I do. Especially if I feel that tension is getting high or I feel anxiety starting to creep up, I'll flip the switch and turn things to humor. Now everyone is laughing and comfortable again. So now they get to lose themselves again, right? We can work with that. We can work with the humor thing. Let's toss some humor in there. But is that the way to get someone to seduce someone? Humor? Hey, Matt says it worked for him. Dr. Seltzer says seduction is quite similar to rape. Not in the aggressive way, but in the manipulative way. So it's all about the process, not the acting of itself, in and of itself. It's the process. And we're gonna take a quick break and look into that some more. We'll see what Dr. Seltzer has to say. All right? So, break time, go use the bathroom, get more pen and get more paper, get your popcorn, whatever it is you need, call a friend, your enemy, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends. Get everybody in. Let's talk seduction. Let's see if I can seduce you into coming back and bringing a friend with you. How about that? Well, let me try this. Musical therapy comes up in a little while. And we get to rock out to some nice music and close out the night shift week. Is that enticing enough to get you to bring someone back? And we still have more to talk about with seduction. So if I use this voice, does it help to bring you back? We'll be right back after these messages. I know everybody isn't going to buy it today. Cool. I'm alright with everybody not getting it. I'm fine. But some will, and it will work on some. We'll be right back.
Hey yo, this is Caraman to let you know that right about now you are logged on to DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift. Don't move.
I'm Khalib Thompson.
And I'm David Muir.
And we are the co-founders of a cultural nonprofit in Florida called Island Space.
For many reasons, now more than ever, we need the support of our communities.
As Caribbean Americans, we have the unique ability to claim everyone from the island as members of our Caribbean American family.
We are working to create a home for that family.
The Island Archives will become an internationally recognized museum of history.
Visitors can learn that although we are unique, we are truly stronger together.
Learn more at islandspacefl.org.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulseemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.
Silence no work no more. Where are the leaders that guided us before? Yo, this is Christina. Listen, I want to big up DJ Kevin Stew. Yo, always playing the best. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you always stay current with DJ Kevin Stew. Enough love. Freedom fighters. Where are the freedom fighters?
Hey yo, this is Caraman to let you know that right about now you are logged on to DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift. Don't move.
Yeah. Whoa, whoa. Yeah. Well, when it come to money, me not so much, but me alright. Come to loving me, have enough figure all night. Real type of love for make me woman satisfied. Feel like she touching the sky, she fly high like birds of a feather when together we lay. She says she like it better when I'm holding the reins. Well, tonight we're gonna do things different. Yeah, will you be my love machine? Will you make love to me? Girl, I wanna touch your buttons. Yeah, let you show me something. Will you be my fantasy and give me what I need? Will you be my love machine? Tonight, girl, I wanna try something new. You always whisper in my ear and tell me that you want me. Yeah. Well, tonight I hope you really want me enough to be my love machine. Will you make love to me? Girl, I wanna touch your buttons. Yeah, let you show me something. So will you be my fantasy? And give me what I need. Won't you be my love machine? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Me want to turn you on, girl, and watch your booter and get you warm, girl, like a love computer. Me want to put me password, log on and enter, and insert the tab where it really meant for. You get the information from off the hard disk, a stimulation, and then everything cleans. But can we do it like this? Will you be my love machine? Will you make love to me? Girl, I wanna touch your body. Yeah, let you show me something. Girl, be my fantasy and give me what I need. Won't you be my love machine? Well, when it comes
The zone of Cesar. It's called Love Machine.
real type of love for make my woman satisfied. Feel like she touching the sky, she fly high like.
Now, can you imagine having someone like that in your life?
Say she like it better when I'm holding the reins.
Pressing your buttons just the right way.
Yeah, will you be my
pressing the right or putting in the right combinations to have the desired output.
Turn you on, girl, and watch your boot. And get you warm, girl, like a love computer. Me want to put me password, log on and enter. And insert the top where it really meant for. You get the information from off the hard disk. A stimulation and then everything clicks. But can we do it like this? Will you be my love machine?
Want to say thanks to Reggae Global Entertainment for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast. Reggae Global will act as your booking agents, take care of your tour management, handle your copyrights, your business registration, music production, marketing and promotion, and so much more. Give them a call, 954-998-8034, or check them out online, reggaeglobalentertainment.com. Thank you, Reggae Global Entertainment.
Woman satisfied, feel like she touching the sky, she fly high like birds of a feather when together we lay. She says she like it better when I'm holding the reins. Tonight we're gonna do things different, yeah. Will you be my love machine? Will you make love to me? Girl, I wanna touch your buttons, yeah, let you.
644. I'm gonna need for you to get some more friends. Zone of Cesar. Big ups to all the love machines out there, and those who have a love machine. All the best to you. Just make sure you keep everything right for your love machine, yeah? Right, cool. So, let me see what's going on here. I got a message here. Men like to be challenged. You are correct. After the looks, then what? Because looks don't last forever. Make them feel elevated. Laughter spiritual, and your power over them will be limitless. Knowing the password is so important. You have to know your partner's love language. So, when the password change, how that go? You know what happens when the password changes? Because at some point in time, something is going to change. So we all have our love languages. And if we go off the 5 love languages, whatever is at number 1 doesn't always stay at number 1. Think about it. Look back in your life. Yeah, there are some dominant things, but you don't really find number 1 always being number 1. So 776, are you saying that you're too experienced, like Barrington Levy? So Dr. Seltzer says, more important still, the artifice and machinations characterizing seduction aren't entirely one-sided. Its implementation typically involves one person, traditionally the male, in the role of the subjugator, and the other reacting submissively as the subdued. Whereas in rape, there's clearly a perpetrator and a victim. But by its very definition, seduction implies a certain mutuality, connoting at least some degree of consent. And I should add here that this is true whether the seducer is male or female. Though, for simplicity's sake, this particular bit of information will refer to the male as a seducer, as opposed to the woman, the seductress. So we're going with the man, the seducer. Now, except in sexual fantasies engendered by the libido or ego-inspired wish to be irresistibly desired, it can be safely said or asserted that no one ever chooses to be raped. Yeah, we pretty much are all in agreement about that. I think I can take off this now. It has warmed up a little bit inside here. Maybe it's just a discussion that we're having. So, it can be safely asserted that no one ever chooses to be raped. There are some individuals that fantasize about being raped, but it's not the same. And I guess I can look at that in another broadcast because we won't have enough time to do that tonight. But there are many individuals, and not just heterosexual women, who secretly yearn for the excitement, the thrill, the peculiarly illicit intimacy of being coveted, being the coveted object of another's lust. Which is to say that there are times when the seducee, however unconsciously, can actually be seen as paradoxically complicit with the seducer. In addition, and also paradoxically, if the seducee is still a virgin, her very innocence, artless, untainted, and ingenious, it can carry its own powerful seductive allure. Now, Kevin Stew's addition right here. When a man is a virgin, women look at him the very same way. Dr. Seltzer goes on to say, I think few men would disagree that a young woman not yet deflowered can project a vastly more appealing and tempting eroticism than any hardcore provocatively dressed prostitute. Or any hardcore provocatively dressed woman. Seductress. Moreover, though at its worst, seduction can be seen as shamefully exploitive, it really can't be described as demanding, threatening, or coercive. Rather, it is captivating, luring, and enticing. And while it never starts out as consensual, ultimately, it ends up that way. In a sense, it's like surrendering to a delectable piece of chocolate. No one aimed a gun at you and aggressively forced you to eat it. But there it was, right in front of you. And just so enticing that it just simply overwhelmed your will. And you couldn't resist. You look at its chocolatey goodness and you just think to yourself, how delicious. Is it that is chocolate is it alcohol infused chocolate? Is it chocolate with a creamy filling? What kind of chocolate is it? Is it just covered in dark chocolate and has a crunchy, nutty inside? What is it? Is it sprinkled with wafers? Or in the case of some that bake that bit of pastry, that as it is baking, the aroma just engulfs the area that you're in, the kitchen, and it fills the kitchen and it spreads out and it seeps out into the dining room and it finds its way into the bedroom where you're asleep. You didn't expect it, but you're awakened by this aroma that captivates you. And you cannot but taste it. You want it. You need it. You are seduced by it. Typically what we do to each other, right? Just about the same thing. It's just that food always wins, though. Dr. Seltzer goes on to say, courtesy of Psychology Today, it could be said that seduction appeals not to the seducee's higher, more principled self, but to their more impulsive, romantic, sensuous self. And this may be why the emotion following the seduction may actually be regret. The more positive aspects of their ambivalence now affirmed, the negative parts may well regain prominence. And This would likely be if, subsequent to the encounter, the seducee comes to regard their submission as reflecting personal weakness, as they're having whippishly caved to the other's desire. Oh, wimpishly. Okay, cool. See? Reading is fundamental. Additionally, they may come to realize and recognize that their being passionately made love to didn't at all mean that they were loved or cared about. Only that they've been conveniently used to gratify the seducer's indiscriminate sex drive or need to assert sexual dominance over them. But it felt good though, didn't it? But the emotional outcome of being seduced may also contrast sharply to a seducee's experience of being taken advantage of. For some women, particularly those whose virginity was still intact at the time, may actually feel freer or sexually liberated by this singularly arousing experience of letting themselves be taken by another. And this ever-popular romance novel, ever written especially to cater to women's tastes, commonly centers on the fleshly eroticism intrinsic to such intimate encounters. You know, I read this information by Dr. Seltzer, and I think of the writings of C.L. Brown. If you've never read anything that C.L. Brown has written, boy, you're missing out. Comment here in the stew pot. I can bake something and have the entire apartment complex standing outside wanting to know what I'm baking. See, Joy? You master seductress, you. I'm waiting for my order, Joy. I want, and you know, it's interesting. I'm not really one to be eating a lot of pastries, but listen, you make it sound so good. Here we go. Monday the kids came over because I was making apple pie, oatmeal cookies, peach cobbler cookies, and lemon 7-Up pound cakes. Listen, lady, what are you doing to me? I'll send you my address. Oh, I think I already did. So Dr. Seltzer goes on and says, perhaps the seducee had been troubled earlier by religious, societal, irrational, or overblown fears of sexually yielding themselves to another. Yet what they experienced in their capitulation, capitulation, and in permitting themselves an unprecedented expression of their sensuality might have been felt like a delightful relief, especially if the seducer demonstrated genuine interest in their, that is, not his own, in their pleasure, and ideally also showed some non-sexual interest in them. Moreover, they might have experienced a joyful sense of power in their feminine seductiveness, one that perhaps they'd never before realized or appreciated. So here we go again. Here's that pure flower being deflowered. And really and truly, you're wondering, which one is it that we are working with? Who is doing the seducing? Because that virgin knows the power they have. I don't think there's a virgin today that does not know that they're an endangered species. We're all born virgins, but to know that you are at the age of 18, to know that you're 21 and have not been touched, you are like a dodo bird walking around today. It just doesn't happen. Dodo birds are extinct. So here it is. Which one is it that is wielding the power? Which one is it that is being manipulative? Is it the virgin that is being seduced, really? Or is it that they are seducing whomever it is that they have chosen to break their ducks. As we in Jamaica say, you broke your ducks. Americans would say, pop the cherry. No, well, that's a British accent, isn't it? Yeah. But, looking at the seducer and the seducee, it's really that paradox. A man will chase a woman until she catches him. And vice versa. A woman will chase a man until he catches her. But typically, any woman that is interested in a man, don't you guys... You see, this is where it's unfair, because I really do believe that the women have less of a struggle in getting that man that they're interested in. I really believe so. Because they bat their eyes a couple of times, maybe show some cleavage, a little legs, a little bit of thighs, and boom, you're caught. Men are visual creatures. So let's go to let's look at this for the last few moments as we're talking before we get into our musical therapy here. So, and this is DJ Kevin Stew. This is not Dr. Anybody. This is DJ Kevin Stew. Men, visual creatures. Women, oral creatures. So, let's address the men first. We'll save the best for last. What is not true? Talk to me, Joy. What is not true? Men like... Joy, you're saying that women don't always get the guy that they want? Well, let me know. Talk to me. Yeah, talk to me. Talk to me. Did I get another message here? I might have missed another message here. Let me check this real quick. Okay, cool. A man being a visual creature, I'll use me for an example. Some of us don't have that visual appeal, so because of that, we need to make sure we have more to offer. Joy, as a man, we know that women all come with certain attributes. Cleavage leads to boobies. So if there is cleavage, if there's enough boobies to have cleavage, there's going to be focus drawn to the chest. Legs meet at an apex. You show some thigh and the wheels start turning of where does that end. So typically with being visual creatures, when you use visual cues, you have something that you're going to flaunt some way. Sometimes people look at couples and they would say, boy, how did she get him? Well, there's something that he saw in her and boom, she recognized that and she flaunted it. And she got him. Women, you're oral. So what you hear is what is typically what stimulates you. So here it is. Okay, so the chicken crossed the road to get away from the corner line. Cool, I get it. That's fine. But you remembered. So that thing that you heard, it stuck. And if it didn't happen that day, when me as the guy that came with the corner line caught your attention, the next time if I'm that determined, you didn't kill my ego and crush it to bits obliterate my ego. You just kind of chuckled and brushed me off. There's a window that I can try to peer into and see if I can get in through that window still. So there's an opening. There's hope. And I come back and I say something else. Sometime later, here we go again. You're hearing something. And if it is something that this time now appeals to your senses, appeals to what you desire, all of a sudden, there is a flicker. And it only takes a spark to get a whole building burnt down. So here is that spark, because you heard a little bit of something and you wonder, is there more of this something to come? Is there any more of this in there? And your curiosity gets the better of you. And your interest may not have been piqued, but is stimulated. Like I tell you guys all the time, my job here is to stimulate your appetite, not to satisfy your hunger. In the very same way, for women, being seduced by men, in my opinion, the guy comes with, and now that I'm saying it, I get it. When I was a teenager, in high school, hanging out with my friends, we would meet up and take the bus home. And there were a bunch of guys. I went to an all-boys school. And so here you have a bunch of guys. And right around the corner is an all-girls school. And we'd meet up and interact. And whereas the girls knew me because of the group I was in, they didn't know me because of me. Because they were the ones that always had something to say. I didn't have anything to say. I didn't really go out the way they did. I wasn't as outgoing as them. So, what was I going to tell them about? Which party that I went to? I didn't go. So I had no parties to talk about. I had no movies to talk about that I went and saw, because I spent my time going to band practice and visiting nursing homes and hospitals and prisons and playing music in church and that. So I didn't have those stories that was somewhat appealing to these young girls at this time. So now I get it. It makes sense. I said it before, but now it clicked to me why I wasn't that popular with the young ladies back then. Silent River says, as advised by Bruce Lee, I am like water. Calm, warm, relaxing, inviting water. Water that invites exploration. To wade in or dive into. To explore my depths until I envelop them. And they feel how good I feel and are reluctant to leave. Silent River, you're a Venus flytrap. Joy says, I tell my husband all the time, I don't care where you get your appetite as long as you're coming home to eat. Wow. Joy, that statement right there could go so many different places. And it's musical therapy time, but that statement right there could go many places. Are you talking about the literal food, the literal appetite, or are you being figurative with your appetite? I don't know. Which one are you referring to? So we get to close out the night shift week with a little musical therapy. Who seduces whom in the world of seduction? So I'll say this. In the end, it might be said that sexual seduction is best seen paradoxically. In fact, at its best, It can culminate in a romantic relationship which eventually develops into a long-term committed one. And in such instances, it might be hypothesized that maybe what really occurred was a kind of mutual selection, a kind of mutual seduction, which would suggest that maybe, just maybe, it wasn't really seduction at all. It was just meant to be. This is the sound of Alicia Marie, that is. It's called Play Me. Would you play me? Sound of Fiona.
She put you through all the things she did. She was so
It's called Shoulder.
There was just taking and no give, no consideration. She said you did nothing for her life. She's such a bully, dictating your movements every time. Yeah. Whenever you need me, I can make miracles. No one can save you from your fears, but I can love you and show you things will be alright. Whenever you're ready, I'll be by your side. Oh, she has no problems moving on without you. Already put you through all the things she did. She was so selfish. She was just.
Here you have someone coming to the aid of someone in need, providing exactly what they needed at that particular point in time. Who's seducing whom? This is La Vie. It's called Sweetheart.
I'm gonna love you as far as the sea goes and the sun will
I want to say thank you to my segment sponsor, GMAT Music Solutions. When being in the moment.
There's a part of me to you I wanna show.
Actually, no. That's Pulse's tagline. GMAC is bringing your event to life. Providing sound, light and stage production services, musical equipment, PA systems, audio engineers, DJs, bands, musicians, singers, and much more. Give them a call, 754-307-GMAC. That's 754-307-4622. Or check them out at gmac.musicsolutions.com. Tell them DJ Kevin Stew sent you. This is La Vie. Good night, Joy. Thank you very much.
As far as the sea goes and the sun will shine. I know you love me too, but you've got to.
You're truly appreciated loved.
Cause there's a part of me to you I wanna show.
We'll talk about my pastries, okay?
Cause you are my sweetheart, sweetheart. So perfect for me. You are my sweetheart. And I am your queen. Why keep searching for something I know I wouldn't find? When you've been right here in front of me all this time. I'm telling you this now so you could understand that loving you is easy. I'm sure that you're the one, cause you're my sweetheart.
I got one more track on this rhythm for you.
So perfect for me. You are my sweetheart. And I am your queen. Our love has grown further than the eye can see. Didn't know it was possible to create a mix as strong as you and me. This love is sweeter, sweeter.
18 minutes to the top of the hour, 18 minutes before I get out of here.
Sweeter than honey. Your love makes me so happy. Cause you are my sweetheart, sweetheart. So perfect.
I do want to thank you, each and everyone, for hanging out with me this week. We had some heavy topics last night and Monday night. That marathon Monday night. Ooh, 4.5 hours. Looking at the Rodney Reed case, evidence that was hidden.
I'm gonna love you hard.
New information coming out. Whoa.
Love you as far as the sea goes and the sunshine. I know
Do remember,
me.
all broadcasts can be seen or heard via the video archive or audio archive right here on kevinstew.com.
How many times
track is called Priority. Her name, Shamika.
My soul, there's no way that I can let go. Just a kiss from your lips, nothing sweet like this. Give me more and more.
So Marlon, you've never done anything to deliberately seduce a woman.
This love of a lifetime, can't let this good.
How did you accidentally seduce her? Tell us that story. I'm curious to find that one out.
You know I'll never let you go, never giving up, no. I promise, loving you is my security. Yeah, yeah.
Hey Marlon, I have a new track to send to you. I got this one Sunday night. Played it for the first time last night.
I'm never letting this good thing go. No, 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 no.
Brand new music from Dart's Wisdom.
Where would I
Coming up next.
It's just you and me, I'm after. I'm never letting this good thing go. No, 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 no. Promise. Loving you is my priority. You know I'll never let you go. Never giving up, no. I promise. Loving you is my security. Yeah. Tell me.
This is Dart's Wisdom.
Thinking of you, that's all I seem to do. When you're not here, I long to hold you near.
Her rendition of Kissing You.
Maybe this time
Talk about some seduction.
holding you close, taking time to let you know. Tonight's the night we will share. Turn off the lights, come close to me. Tell me I'm all you ever need. Tell me it's not just a dream. And if it is, my heart believes that you are mine. And this is real. Oh,
Kissing you.
Loving you all through the night. It will be alright. What's better than a love that's made for two? I cannot count the ways I feel for you, but you should know. And starting from today, from this point on, my love is here to stay. Lie close to me, hold on. Let's make our love last all night long. Baby, I'm yours. Take all of me. I'll never try to bring you down. My love will always be around. Yes, I'm convinced you're all I need. Oh,
Kissing you.
loving you all through the night. It will be alright.
Together. Kissing you.
Loving you all through.
So Marlon, you don't know exactly what it is that you do. You just do what you do and boom, they're seduced.
Tonight's the night we will share.
I want whatever it is you're drinking.
Close to me, tell me
Because if it worked for you,
you ever need.
it should be able to work for me too.
Oh, tell me it's not just a dream. And if it is, my heart believes that you are mine. And this is real. This is real.
That's what it is, 776. He just gives a look.
Loving you all
So Marlon, you got the look.
night.
Is it that you have the look, or when you speak, you just sound like you have that experience? Here you go, 776.
She doesn't want me around. She's got something to hide. bride. She hates the sight of me because that turned her off or down. She always saying we were meant to be. Somehow she thought I'd be her clown. But this is why I said I'm too experienced to be taking for a stroll.
So this unknown technique only started working after you turned 35, Marlon.
I'm too experienced to be taking for a ride. And I know it's not my foolish pride.
You know, as we wrap up, I do want to make sure that I get this in before we call it a night. Do remember to look out for members of your community. And your community is not just a development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. So those individuals that you pass on the bus, on the plane, on the boat, or the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are members of your community. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is DJ Kevin Steele. This is how I like to do it to you, for you, and with you every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday right here on kevinstew.com, 10 p.m. Eastern. On the night shift of DJ Kevin Stew. And of course, you can catch me on Saturdays exclusively on Reggae Global Radio, 8 p.m. Eastern, for the Saturday Stew. Come bubble up and simmer down with me and learn who the secret ingredient is. That other guy that can sing the telephone book. I've actually heard him sing the telephone directory. This is Hezron. A track called The Air That I Breathe. I just love this rendition.
Nothing to eat, no books to read.
You're very welcome, 776. Thank you.
What more could I ask? There's nothing left to be desired. Peace came upon me and it leaves me so sweet. Silent danger, go to sleep. Sometimes all I need is the air that I breathe to love you. All I need is the air that I breathe to love you. All I need is the air that I breathe.
Now a woman hears words like these. What do you think happens? Let us melt away. You win.
This came upon me and it leaves me so sweet. Silent angel, go to sleep.
dangling. Working out with Reggae Global radio personality Tanya Mullins. Track called On My Way.
To me, I'm hoping you don't stay away too long. Cause without your love, yo. From the very first moment I laid my eyes on you, yeah. I noticed you were more than just a visual. I fell in love with your mind, not just a physical. Yes, each day I rise, I say a prayer for you, yeah. I pray that you will bless and walk beside me. I truly long for the day when you're beside me. Baby girl, I adore you. Only Jah alone I never put before you. That's so true. The other girls are cool, but they won't do. They can love me like you love me, and that won't do. I really appreciate love. Your royalness brought me to love. And I stumble and meet that's key to love. I miss your loving each and every day. I'm on my way to you. I never meant to stay away this long. Cause without your love, I know you're on your way to me. I'm hoping you don't stay away too long. Cause without your love, baby, trust me, it ain't easy. But I'm waiting for you. Sometimes I feel that you don't love me, but I know that you do. You are my king and I'm your queen, that's no doubt. You got the loving that I can't live without. So when I'm feeling down and lonely, I get by with the memories of you. Boy, I want you to know that I will never let you go. My love's for real and that's for sure. No one could ever love you more. And I will daily here for you. The life I have, I'll share with you. One love, one life, that's what we do. I'll be waiting you when you arrive. Woman, I'm on my way to you. I never meant to stay away this long. Cause without your love, I know you're on your way to me. I'm hoping you don't stay away too long.
Alright, so I got one more track for you before I get on out of here.
It's such a joy to hear you say that.
I do want to encourage you to be good. I understand that we're apart, but if you can't be good, be good at it. Thank you once again.
You make what's old seem brand new.
On Monday, we're joined by the Lauder Hill Police Department.
I never meant to stay away this long.
Lieutenant Mike Santiago filling in for Sergeant Chauncey Sims.
To me, I'm hoping you don't stay away.
Policing in the community.
Cause without your love, woman, I'm on my way. Woman, I'm on my way.
This is how I get on out of here.
Kiss me.
Tammy T with her rendition of Kiss Me. This is where I kiss you goodnight. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world from right here in South Florida. Good night.
Kiss me beneath the milky twilight. Lead me out on the moonlit floor. Lift your open hands, strike up the band, and make the boy fly dance to the moon's sparkling. Kiss me. Kiss me, down by the broken tree house. Swing, swing, upon its hanging towers. Bring your flowered hat. We'll take the trail marked on your father's map. Oh, kiss me.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.